Hello everybody, and welcome to the third, I believe it is, of my What About Me new series on special effects tutorials for free programs instead of programs that would cost over $100. Before we get started, a little bit of advertisement for my website. Please come to Infinite Sights Productions at my website if you're watching from the YouTube channel. If you can't find the link on my YouTube channel, then just Google Infinite Sights Productions, S-I-G-H-T-S, not S-I-T-E-S. Someone actually got that wrong once. And I'm going to show you how to use fire, make an actual, like, almost fiery looking effect. Oh, you get it. Okay, here we go. Wax 2.0, and if you don't know what it is, or you haven't watched my previous tutorials, you can go to my website and go to the programs page, and there should be a link there for Wax 2.0, or debug mode at least. That's what it's from. So once you've got Wax opened up, go ahead and click Add Media Files. Please get used to the interface of Blender Wax before, not Blender. That takes forever to learn, but yeah, please get used to the interface in Wax before you continue too far into this tutorial. At least where the buttons are and things and such on the top left. Forget what they do. I guess I'll just take my old Infinite Sights logo. This was back when I called it Infinite Sights Entertainment, but I don't do that anymore. So just put it on the video stream and then go to Video Plugins. And then here you've got all your basic plugins and a few extra things on the side. Go ahead and under General, bring Particles and put it on your video. Now everything's gonna go black, that's okay, because it's just wanting to show fiery particles right there. So open the Particles tab, and oh no, I'm sorry, don't put it on your video. If you already have, just click Particles and drag it down to number 2, and then put Infinite Sights below it, or your video below it, and there you go. Now it's working. I completely forgot that. But you don't put it on your video. You put your video on the second line, and then you put Particles on the first line, or just above it. And now open the particle window, and here you have a whole bunch of different things you can do with it, but I'm just going to show you how to use fire. And right now it kind of looks like fire because that's the default preset thing, whatever you would call it. So we're going to make it look a little tiny bit more realistic because there's a little bit of purple in there, I think, and all the dots are mostly solid. So we're going to go to Creation, bring that tab down, and then just use the scroller on the side here to scroll down. Max particles, I always set that to about 9,000 particles a second. 1, and then that always helps just to help keep from the lag. But you can add more if you want the fire thicker, or take away if you want it less. And then min color alpha, set that to 0.5. So that's the minimum, that's the least amount of alpha it can go to. And if you want, you can leave max color alpha at 1, but I think I'll change it to 0.5 also. And there you can already see it's starting to calm down a little bit, not so bright. Now go ahead and close that little Creations tab and go to Destroy. This is the death of the particles, or their life. Minimum age, that if you want to adjust how long it's left, or like, yeah, it's in seconds, so I guess I'm gonna leave it, or change that to 2 seconds. Now actually I'm gonna change it to 1 second, and then min age you can just leave that. So already you can see it's just gotten smaller is all. So actually 2 seconds, there we go, 2 seconds will be good for me. And then set the go ahead and close the Destroy tab and bring down the Emitter tab, and here's where you position everything. Now if you want it to move, here's position X and Y, and because it's only a 2D effect, on a 2D image so far, do not use position Z or do not use position Z. So just go ahead and click position X, this little keyframing mode. It looks like a timer. Click that and click liner. And then also position Y, timer, liner. There we go. Now go to the very beginning of your video and just kind of move X to the right, and if you move the plus value for position X actually moves it to the right, as you can see there, and negative value moves it to the left. Negative value for Y moves it down, and plus value for Y moves it up. So I'm just going to kind of position it on my little eyeball figure here that I kind of took from a game called Wild 9 from PlayStation. So now we're going to screw with the radius. Now I'm not going to keyframe the radius. I'm simply going to make it smaller on the X. So I'm going to bring that down to 0.1, and yeah, and then radius Z, I don't need that high at all, so I'll just set that to 0. And there you go. Now it looks like a little ball of fire, and that's pretty cool. Now as you move in, the video moves, but the fire does not. So to set the keyframe, you simply use the position tool, position X, and then move it to the left, and it'll come to the left, and then you just use position Y and kind of center it on where you want the particles to come from. And then, as you can see, it's staying with your character, and then you move it a little further into the and then eventually you will come to the end of your video and you're going to be like, oh, finally, because it takes forever. Well, actually it depends on how long your video is that it takes. So, and then once that's done, you have your fire particles moving according to where you set each keyframe. And then you might want to come scroll through your video of all the keyframes and just make sure that it's not uncentered somewhere, and make sure that you're not too close to other keyframes, otherwise the emitter will jump around and it'll kind of look funny. So here, and there you go. It stays on my little eyeball guy. And that is how you add basic fire particles in Wax 2.0. Now here I have my particles a little long, so if you guys want, you can just experiment with the destroy. Now if the trail is too long, you just bring the max age down, and then you can watch, and it'll slowly bring everything down. If you notice that some of the particles are too big in the beginning, or too small, or they're too big or too small at the end, you can go to the destroy or create, and somewhere at the bottom you should say min and max size. Now I'm fine with the destroy, but the create is a little big, so I go to the bottom, min and max size. I'll just size down the max, and there we go. It looks a little bit better, and there you go. And I did not, as you'll notice in the particles in the create, when I put min and max size, I did not use the keyframing mode, so it will stay that size continuously throughout the entire video. So if you want it to change sizes, you make sure you use the liner keyframing mode. And there's a little bit of fire. So when you're done, just go ahead and use your project settings, set it how you want, and click the green render arrow. That's it for today. I hope you got a lot out of it, and well, you'll see me next time.